Hey there, how's it going? Fall is definitely coming to Alaska. Beautiful fall colors here. I'm in the town of Healy. Well, not in the town, obviously. The town is that way, maybe a mile or so. I am working up here in Denali National Park, which is other side of those mountains you can see there, with fresh white snow on them, really beautiful. So Healy is the town that Chris McCandless from the movie Into the Wild. Okay, check this out. Getting some signs here. I guess those are bear prints. I'm no expert, but I have my bear spray there. I also have a noise-making device hanging around my neck just in case, but the best way to scare away bears is to use the human voice. And so really the best thing I can do right now is talk to this camera nice and loud while I walk down this creek. And so I made another video in which I walked from employee housing. As I mentioned, I'm working in the park there. The employee housing is here in Healy, which is about 10 miles away from the main area of the park where all of the hotels and restaurants and things are. And so it is my day off, and I wanted to get out and do a little hike and shoot some more footage here, capture the beautiful fall colors. Head down this way because I guess that it goes back to the highway eventually, which is the highway that goes north to Fairbanks, up that way, and south down to Anchorage, about 5 hours that way. And so I was going to make this video and wanted to experiment a bit with my G7X Canon here, which I got about a month ago, and I've only used it a few times, so I'm definitely still getting used to it. In the process, I thought, well, I might as well make a video sort of giving my review of it as much as I know about it. And really the best way to get a good idea for, how good is it, is to see some footage of the camera in different situations, not just sitting in a room or a house or whatever somewhere talking about it, but actually show what does it look like, how's the zoom, how's the quality, how is the audio. Fortunately, it is not windy today, so hopefully I can be heard okay, and there isn't too much of that raking sound from the wind going across the microphone. But that is definitely one of the issues that you will want to know about, is that the microphone on this G7X is very sensitive. There doesn't even have to be wind. You can be inside, and you just kind of like move the camera. Let's see if it's doing it now. And so one thing I definitely recommend if you're going to get the G7X is you probably want to get a micro muff kind of a thing that you put on the microphone, which helps to calm the wind noise. I bought one of those things. I haven't actually put it on the camera yet, so this audio you're hearing now is not with the micro muff on it. And so does the G7X meet the hype? It is considered like one of the best vlogging cameras. Now my honest review so far, and I know that I have a lot still to learn about this camera, is that it doesn't quite meet the hype, but the hype was pretty big. And so for a $700 camera, it definitely does a pretty darn good job. One of the issues is the focusing, so let's see what's it going to take. There we go. So now it gets into focus there, and you can see the image quality is really sharp, very full colored. But it does have focusing issues that can be really bad sometimes, in which it just stays blurry. I made a video inside. I was holding the camera like this inside my room, pointing the camera at myself, and the picture quality was super blurry for like several minutes. It just never quite focused in. I've noticed so far that it seems to be worse in low lighting settings. So it starts off blurry there. And let's see what it takes to get it to focus in on the right thing. This is right in the middle of the frame, so it should be focusing in on that, but it's having a hard time with it. There we go, now we got it nice and clear. But it does take its time sometimes. Hey bear! Hey bear! Hey! Gone! Hey bear! No, I do not see a bear, but that is a good way to make sure and scare them off. It would be great to see a bear in person, but not when I am like this, totally exposed, standing in the middle of a dry creek bed with nothing to protect myself from. So I want to make plenty of noise and scare them away, let them know that there's a human around who you never know, might have a gun or dogs or friends hiding in the bushes or whatever, and go off in another direction. Hey, bear! Hey! Hey, gone! And so one thing that I should mention here is that I have the stabilization feature turned on this G7X right now. There are 3 different options. There is the nothing option of no stabilization at all. There is the normal setting, I think it is called, which is a little bit of a stabilization of the image. And then there's the high stabilization, which is what it is on right now. When I first got it, then it was on the normal setting, and I recorded a couple of videos and posted them on my channel here, and lots of people remarked, like, that is just so bumpy and shaky. And so I checked the settings, and there was the higher setting, and so I clicked it over to that, and that made a huge difference and stabilized the image quality a lot. Now, if you are interested in getting the G7X or looking at it as far as its specifications and all that stuff, check my Amazon e-store down below the video here, which has all kinds of different products, travel and outdoors related, backpacks, tents, all kinds of different things. And also down there are both of the cameras that I'm using currently. And if you click on that link, then I will get a percentage of the sale if you buy something on Amazon, because it is an affiliate link. Come on, focus. Interesting little like colander thing I found there lying by the creek here. Probably got washed down from somewhere else. Hey, bear! Hey! Hey, gone! Hey, bear! Hey! More tracks here. This is an area that animals like to hang out, obviously. And I'll zoom in on those mountains once again. And so that is the extent of the optical zoom. And then going in further is the digital zoom. And so that's why it isn't quite as good of picture quality once you zoom in with the digital zoom, because it's not actually zooming in with the lens. It's just focusing in more digitally. And so I kind of cut myself off there talking about Healy because I mentioned Chris McCandless, and that this is the town that he hitchhiked to on his epic journey coming from the lower 48 up through Canada to Alaska. And he got dropped off by Jim Gallion just down the road here. The highway that you can hear, the highway going up to Fairbanks, is where he hitchhiked down from and got dropped off at the Stampede Road and Trail, which is just north of here, a few miles. And then it heads out that way to the west into the wilderness. All right, check it out. A bridge over the river, or the tiny little stream as it is right now, but as you can see, this obviously gets a lot bigger, and that is a reminder of the problem that Chris McCandless ultimately faced that cost him his life. Was he had walked over the Teclanica River, not this river here, another one further out that way, and at the time it was a shallow, mellow creek, basically. And then he came back after a couple of months out there and tried to cross back over it and discovered a intense, rapidly flowing, deep river that he could not cross. And so you can imagine this right here at various times would be a much wider river, still not very deep, but I'm sure that it takes up this whole wash here at certain times. depending on the snow melt coming out of those mountains. And so another thing that I should mention here is that I am currently shooting at only 25 frames per second, whereas my previous videos that I shot with this thing were at 60 frames per second. And the reason is I came across a video recommending some suggested settings to try out, and so I just implemented all those, then turned the camera on right before I started shooting this, and it looked totally washed out. And so I adjusted those settings again to get it to look better, and I think it's doing pretty good now, but I'm not sure exactly how that 24 point something, basically 25 frames per second, is going to compare exactly to the 60 frames per second. So this is kind of an experiment. Okay, fuzzy, there you go. All right, once it actually focuses in properly, it does look really good. And so, you know, my ultimate assessment of this camera is that it definitely has lots of potential. It has pros and cons. It's about what you should expect for the money. If you want something that is, you know, more amazing and just like perfect, then you're probably going to have to spend more money. But for being a small-sized compact camera at a pretty reasonable price, then I think it does a pretty darn good job. All right, thanks for watching. Take it easy.